then what is right action? An action which is right under all circumstances, whether it's in the narrow limitations of a family, or social action, action in relationship, and so on. What is right action? Can that right action take place when there is the operation of thought? You understand? As we pointed, I'll go into a little bit. As we pointed out yesterday, the computer can do almost anything we do. But the difference between the computer and the human being is basically is freedom from the known. The computer can never be free in the sense it has been programmed. It has accumulated a lot of knowledge, programmed by human beings. So, man has the capacity to be totally free. And the computer is not intelligent. So, what is the difference between the computer and the human mind? Is it intelligence? Then what is intelligence? You following on me? What is intelligence? Is intelligence the capacity of the intellect which can discern, reason, logically or not logically, objectively, perhaps occasionally sanely? Is intellect, has the intellect capacity of intelligence? Or is intelligence something entirely different? Following all? Is intelligence matter of time? Please, time being accumulating knowledge, cleverness, capacity to think, and thought has its own activity which may be called intelligence. And is that intelligence? So what is intelligence? Are we waiting for the speaker to tell you? When you see a danger, physical danger, there is immediate response. Right? That response has been the result of previous conditioning. When you see a snake, cobra, there is instant response. And that response is the outcome of long tradition, but also the instinct to preserve the physical condition, that is self-preservation. That can also be called intelligence. But when we see psychological danger, right, we don't act instantly. For example, attachment, as we pointed out on several occasions, is corruption. Attachment to belief, to an idea, to a concept, to a conclusion, attachment to a particular deity, attachment to husband, wife, attachment. One sees the danger of it. If one is alert, awake, see what are the consequences of attachment. And yet we go on. We can explain, argue, investigate, analyze. But that analysis, investigation, has very little value. So why is it the human brain does not act instantly and reject attachment altogether? You follow what I'm saying? The physical danger and psychological danger. Is that not lack of intelligence? I don't know if I'm following my... So, perception of psychological conflicts brought about through selfishness, see the danger of it, see what it does in our personal as well as public relationship, see what is happening in the world, see the consequences of all that, and yet we don't stop it. Is that a state of neuroticism? And therefore it is not intelligent. And also we must investigate much more deeply the question of intelligence. As we said, the computer can do almost anything that we do. And what is the difference between the computer and our brain? Then one is asking, what is intelligence? If intelligence is immediate perception of danger and action, then we are unintelligent. Right? I don't know if you... So, time as a factor of resolution of any problem is an act of unintelligence. And we're talking about psychological problems. Our minds, our brain is trained to solving mechanical problems. It hasn't faced the problem of our daily living and resolving it, like conflict. Not only within ourselves, but around us. We see the consequences of conflict, ultimately leading to war, and yet we don't act. Therefore, perception, which is seeing, comprehension of the whole movement of attachment, for example, and seeing the danger of it and ending it instantly. Such action is intelligence. Right? So, our psychological structure, which is far more important than the government laws, the superficial structures and of establishment, organizations, all that is overcome by our psychological demands. So, man has the capacity to have this intelligence, to have an insight into something and acting instantly. Can we do that? Is it possible for us to do that?